I'm Roger Mader with Ampersand. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about the 9 strategies, 9 of them, that you need to align in order to optimize your growth. Strategy, first of all, comes to us from the ancient Greek, stratos meaning high, and agos meaning general, quite literally. The intention together, strategos, meant the commander's field of view, which, as you can imagine, is the basis for strategy, where you can oversee all the moving parts, where you can anticipate changes and moves in advance so that you can plan your alternative. Your strategy is about making a choice. Everything we discuss today will be about informing those choices to give you the best possibility, not only for the first branch you take, but every branch. The 9 strategies operate at 3 levels in 3 domains. Those levels from top to bottom are the organization level, the operating level, and the offering itself, the product or service that you're delivering to the marketplace. The domains are allowing you to compare yourself to the market, to conceive new possibilities, and to connect with your customers. Let's start at the organization level and explore how these different strategies interoperate. At the organization level, you're viewing yourself relative to the competition in terms of today's offering and tomorrow's. You also can consider whether you're going to build or buy your new offerings. Are you going to make them through your own innovation capabilities, or you can acquire someone else's innovations? The latter is often a very reasonable way to mitigate risk, but you do pay a huge premium to achieve that. Let's explore each of those 3. Your competition strategy is really about finding your blue ocean. Where is the comparative advantage you have relative to others? Let's use an example. You may recall that Ringling Brothers was once the greatest show on earth, and it had a huge draw around the country, where it had begun from a very early caravan model, traveling by rail and setting up tents and attracting, at a time before television or even modern cinema, that would allow local neighborhoods to partake in these extravaganzas. If you look at the different elements of the market space in which Ringling Brothers operated, you can see that they offered a relatively low price. They had some star performers, the standout show members. There even became famous clowns and masters of ceremony. Animals featured prominently, clowns and humor and danger of the aerial artists all featured prominently. But there were a number of different attributes that were not being addressed. Enter Quebec's Cirque du Soleil. This is a very different big top event which uses different attributes. If you compare them to the origin story, you'll see that it's almost an opposite configuration. The price is high, the performers are almost anonymous, animals don't exist, it's a purely human endeavor. Humor is a factor, but it's not the central activity. Danger is not the significant element that you're activating. You're not trying to play to fear with the audience or excite them in that regard. You're more trying to amaze, and you do that through a unique venue, through unique themes that allow for artistry and everything from costumes to music to the characterization and storylines that they exhibit. Next, let's talk about how you conceive new offerings. Innovation allows you to discover unmet needs to serve new opportunities. In a prior video, I've described to you Doblin's 10 types of innovation, a way of thinking about different domains of innovation that you can activate to separate yourself from the pack and be more valuable and differentiated from your competition. One of the ways to strategically innovate is to conceive platforms. A good example of that is iTunes, which predated the introduction of the iPod, creating a vehicle for music to be downloaded to a device in a way that was never previously simple, easy, or affordable, or even legal in some cases. This then led to next-generation technologies, including the iPhone, the iPad, the App Store, and a huge ecosystem of new participants in the Apple system that was then activated through the watch and through acquisitions that created a broad array of offerings that you can think of as all founded on the iTunes platform. Third of our strategy domains at the organization level is the acquisition strategy. Most innovations are produced by entrepreneurs outside of big companies, and that large companies take advantage of innovation by buying it from someone else. This is incredibly important, not to destroy value, that it aligns with all 9 of your strategies. This acquisition strategy, more than almost all others, shows how alignment across strategies allows you to successfully integrate those acquisitions so that they're consistent with your brand, that they match the communications you have, that they meet the segmentation of your target markets, that they fill your innovation portfolio exactly as you need. All of these should be interoperating, not any one strategy on its own. Operationally, Remember, you're going after efficiency, segmentation, and channels. Efficiency versus segmentation is really a question of whether you're going after revenue or margin. Between segmentation and channel, we're really talking about whether we're focused internally or externally. Are we going to deliver these things to our customers through our channels or through third parties, for example? Let's explore each. Efficiency is about enhancing operations. W. Edwards Deming, the expert in this field, described that which is measured gets done. And a high point of impact for efficiency strategies is the ability to measure your performance and count it relative to the efficiency of others. It's very helpful to get lean. You've heard about lean operations in efficiency because the idea is only as good as your capacity to deliver it to the market profitably. Segmentation is about improving the uptake of your offerings by understanding your customers better. How do you come to know your customer best? Think, for example, about Netflix, how they are helping you to figure out who you are, what you like, what you want based on your past selections, your past behaviors, so that they're queuing up for you other likely candidates for your choice based on your tastes. Connecting with the world at an operational level is done through your channels. How can you extend your reach? Of course, the connection optimally is about meeting the buyer at their point of need. Amazon, of course, has transformed the channel environment by creating a huge-scale electronic channel and delivery engine that allows you to extend your reach all the way to the doorstep and eventually to the rooftop. This is an incredible opportunity for any organization to make a huge difference in their operations simply by connecting better to their customers, and optimizing your channel strategy is essential. Let's move to the last level. The offering, again, we're talking about how do you position your product or service to convey your brand most effectively and communicate to the market with a consistent voice. When we talk about the big questions you're answering here, it's really about, are we trying to optimize for access to the market or appeal to our target customers? Are we communicating our intent, and are we using a voice that is evocative of the buying patterns that we're seeking? Let's start with positioning. It's really all relative because it's positioned relative to how you compare with others. Where should we stand relative to the established and emerging competitors? So, for example, Soshiro Honda introducing a question in Honda's fight to regain market share in the 1990s about where they would play. And what he did was find the fight that had the will to win. He did it by identifying the most important asset that they brought to bear differentially. When they compared to the other players in their marketplace, what they had was a compact, efficient, and quiet internal combustion engine. So repositioning for optimal impact came from acting on this core strength. Next, at the brand strategy, what we're really trying to do is clarify the promise that we're making to the marketplace, clarifying the very personal, individual promise you are making with each customer. Let's use Disney, for example. Every great brand can convey their thesis in a single word. Do you know what Disney's is? Magic. It's about creating the magic of childhood and bringing it into all aspects of your family's life. What about Virgin? In a word, their brand promise is irreverence. You want to be a maverick. Richard Branson, of course, embodies the brand personally. Nike, in a word, is about winning. Winning is the ethic that they're trying to convey through everything they do, and just do it is the starting point. Finally, communicating all of this is the cornerstone of all your strategies. You need to stay on message at the offering level. Masterlock demonstrated how to keep it simple with a single advertisement. The only television advertisement in their history was run years ago where they showed a rifle shot punching a bullet through the heart of one of their padlocks without it unlocking. And they offered a simple tagline: the Masterlock is tough under fire. A simple image, a powerful action, a communication in a tagline that really conveyed what they're talking about. That serves as such a useful example, just like winning, just like magic, just like irreverence, knowing exactly what sets you apart and communicating it consistently. All these different strategies represent different choices, but they have to work together. You can review each of the 9 strategies for the challenge that you are undertaking. Knowing the basics of all 9 strategies allows you to answer who, what, where, when, and how you're going to operate. Who and what is done by setting a goal where you quantify your objective. What value should be achieved by when? And the challenge then is to define success in the boundaries and time frame that you establish. How you do it is your choice of strategy. All 9 strategies, in fact. How do you narrow your focus from what could be to what should be? And now you're ready for the discovery stage, where you're going to anticipate possibilities and identify the unmet needs that you're going to reveal and translate into insights so that you can act accordingly. You have to choose a path. No choice means no strategy. Discovering latent needs is essential. You need to find unmet demand. You have to harness the change that's going on around you. Turn market dynamics into opportunity, the ultimate market jiu-jitsu. Calculate your relative position in order to optimize your chances to win. Go long. You have to build foundations, platforms, not just the individual bricks. Be thinking in 20-year timeframes of how you're establishing a foundation. Find your fight. Take up the battles where you have the will to win. And that means making choices on the things you're not going to fight. Keep it simple. Distill everything down to a singular essence so that you can communicate it in everything that you tell to the marketplace and to yourself and all your employees. Perspire to inspire, to move from production, an internal point of view on what you make, to connection, how you interact with the marketplace and each customer. I'm Roger Minnie with Ampersand. Thanks very much.